Hey friends, today we're going to be making figures that have more details. They're going to start out with a stick figure look to them, and then we're going to build shapes off of that figure. A lot of times when artists are doing figure work, they are starting out with a basic sketch or line, and then they build up with shapes. The first shape we're going to use for the head is a circle. And then we're going to start to draw a line that represents the torso and the hips. And this is going to be about 2 to 3 heads long, all right? Probably somewhere more into 2.5 heads long. You don't want to get too far down the paper with that line because it's going to make your torso really long, and we have to save room for our legs. So I'm just going to come right in the middle, and I'm going to draw a vertical line, and that's looking about 2, maybe 2.5. Perfect. So at this point, you should have near half of your paper at the bottom if you started your head right at the top. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm going to draw a line for the shoulders. Your shoulders are actually a little bit wider than your head. So I'm going to come a little bit below that line where it connects with the head to save room for my neck. And I am going to do a horizontal line that's slightly wider than my head. I'm now going to do another one at the very end of this for my hips, and it's going to be the same width as that top line. So I'm going to draw that across and check, make sure it's similar width. Now you're going to do a smaller line right in the middle of these two, and this is your hips where your torso goes in and your hips go out. So this line you want to be a little bit smaller. It shouldn't be as wide as the other two. So right in the middle, I'm going to do a slightly less wide line. Okay, now I'm going to draw diagonal lines or angled lines that go to that point on that line I just drew, both at the top and bottom. So I'm going to go on this one. This is the top of my body, and then this is the bottom portion of my body. Perfect. Okay, so now that I have that in there, I'm going to start to add some lines for arms. We're going to start with the upper arm first and then do the bottom arm. I'm going to make it look like my figure's doing a superhero pose, but if you want to angle your arms in a different direction, that is fine. Just start with the shorter arm, the top of the arm, and then do the bottom. So for the top of the arm, if I'm thinking I'm doing the superhero pose, with my fist on my hips, I'm going to have my shoulders going outwards. So from the corner of your shape at the top, and you're going to start there no matter what pose you're doing, you're going to have a line that comes out. You're then going to do the same width line on this side. You want your arms to be similar length, so you wouldn't want to make this one long but this one short. Proportionally, our arms are going to be pretty close to the same size. Now the lower part of your arm is pretty similar in size as well. So I'm now going to draw my line for my lower arm, and if it's headed towards my waist, it's going to go like this. Okay. And for your hands, I just keep it simple. I put them in fist. So I draw a circle. So as you can see, it's starting to kind of resemble a stick figure. Alright, so I have my arms in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add boxes or rectangles around our lines we drew. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to draw a rectangle around this line. Now if you have muscles, you want your rectangles to be slightly bigger. Now I'm going to do a rectangle that goes around this one. So we're starting to add some shape. Now, it's obviously not going to look exactly like a human figure right now. We're going to fine tune it and round things out later. Okay, friends, so for the legs, it's the same thing. You're starting with the upper line for your legs and then the lower line for your lower legs. I'm just going to make it look like my legs are standing straight, but if you want to angle them like me, it would just be like the arms, and this one I angled them. You would have it go in the same direction, coming out and then coming in. But for this one, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to do the upper leg. And again, your leg lines are actually a similar length to your arm lines. And then I can do a little dot for my knee to separate them, my lower leg area, which should be the same length. Okay, so there is that. I'm now going to do rectangles around these. And guys, I would make your rectangles, friends, a little bit bigger for your legs at the top and then smaller for your legs at the bottom. This plumber's thinking she's going to have to make hers a little longer, so I'm just going to stretch it. I don't think they were quite the same when I drew them. There we go. Now that's looking a little more proportional. So for the feet, you're going to do ovals. And then you're going to want to do some lines on each side of the neckline to add some more detail to your neck. So there's my figure, friends. You are now going to go in and you can do your facial features. So I like to start with my hairline first. I draw my hair, ears, however you want. And then for eyes, I just do my eyes, my eyebrows. Okay. It doesn't have to be super detailed because this is a figure. The focus is on the figure, not the portrait or the head. All right, so there's that. The next step for you, friends, is you're actually going to have to erase some of your lines. So Miss Plumber is really hoping you can see this in the video. You're going to take your eraser and very gently, those center lines we drew, the shapes around are going to be erased. So like this line here and this line here. So I'm going to go in. And erase those. Perfect. If you want to, you know, round your shoulders off, so let's see, in this one I kind of have my shoulders popping out a little bit. They look a little weird. You can go through your figure and kind of just round things out to make it look more realistic. If it's too pointy somewhere, just round it out. Okay? All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to start to add the details. Now, if you're wearing pants, you would want to erase this line that goes across like this. You would add a waistline in. And for pants, it's pretty simple, friends. You just kind of keep it like that. If you want shorts, you draw a line across your knees. It's pretty simple. Now, sometimes in this area, I like to turn that more into like a triangle form instead of a straight line, so it looks more like a human's legs. Okay. Now let's kind of. All right. What if you're gonna wear like a skirt? Well, how that would look is you would have to draw your waistline, but then maybe do a flowy piece that comes outside your drawing, and then erase some of that. Okay. Now you're gonna think about a symbol you're gonna put on your chest. So Miss Plummer, for mine, I'm going to just do a triangle. Think about Superman with a letter P. If you want a cape, you're going to go in and draw a cape. So design your shoes, whatever you want for your details, okay? And make sure your face is done too. I haven't done that yet in mine.